All right. Hello. Welcome back to the show. This is Sergeant WarDawg. Welcome to the WarDawg Trail podcast, episode 125. All right. Tonight we have a special guest to you. He's international from the down under, from Australia. All right. He is an Afghanistan war veteran. Understand? This man has walked the streets and dodged the IEDs of Afghanistan and the Afghanistan war. All right. Before I bring him to the stage, though, I do want to remind you that you can find a copy of my book, The WarDawg Trail, Marine Rifleman Struggle with War and PTSD, on Amazon, Barnes& and Noble, Walmart.com, and a few other outlets. All right. So before I hold you back, and without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome to the stage the one, the only, Mr. Tommo Williams from Australia. Hey, welcome to the
Hey,
show,
my
brother.
brother. How are you, my brother? Thank you for the introduction, bro. I just pinching myself. This is my first my live stream. Well, actually, we did the little one, but this is just you and me, man. I was pinching myself before going, wow, I finally got where I wanted to be. Mate, how are you, brother? We've been cooking this up since our last little chat with DV Radio. And it's good to finally be.
Yeah, bro. Just taking it one day at a time, right? But yeah, we've been chopping it up a lot since your time on the Barracks Talk podcast on Dysfunctional Veterans, dvradio.net podcast. You can find Tommo's episode in their podcast catalog. But Tommo, man, if you don't mind, let's go. Let's break it down, bro. For every war veteran around the world, whether it's Middle Eastern wars, what we got, what's going on now.
Any war, mate. Anyone that's put on the uniform country and done their duty on behalf of it.
Yeah. Talk to us.
Mate,
Let us know who you are.
Well, mate, look, mate, I was look. Let's start off with 6 generations. Oh, I've just found out recently 7 generations of military on my mother's side, 4 generations of military on my father's side. My father was the head detective of the SIB, at the military police before he discharged after 24 years. My mother was in the first full female platoon of women to do combat training in the Australian Army. And I joined as a combat engineer in 2007, at 18 and a half. I had one of those whirlwind experiences that show you on the recruit training videos. I was very lucky, got to travel through Southeast Asia as my initiation to the real army after training. And well, yeah, wasn't that an experience? Thailand, Singapore, and Malaysia for 3 months. Still to this day, nothing like the 9 months in Afghanistan, mate. The 2 weeks I spent in Vietnam. In Malaysia in the jungles with the Vietnam training team. The Australian Vietnam training team, those old dudes, man, there was nothing. That was the hardest 2 weeks of my entire life, without a doubt. Yeah, I definitely prefer to be in the desert any day of the week over the fucking jungle. That shit was fucking heck. And a shout out to my poppy that I never got to meet, who fought in Kokoda too. He did the Kokoda Trail, mate, and that shit's hectic. So yeah, mate. But yeah, I deployed to Afghanistan in 2010 as a high researcher with 2CR, the Second Combat Engineer Regiment, as part of Mentoring Task Force 1, with the 6RR Battle Group. And I spent 9 months out in Murrumbidgee Valley. We started out at Patrol Base Wiley, when the other section of engineers and the other troop of infantry, I had the platoon house just about 3 k's up from us. Spent spent a couple of months out there before my platoon got moved out to a teak. Mate, and we got out to a teak. We were out there for 6 months, and as combat engineers, it was absolute fucking heaven. It was the infantry hated us, man, because they'd be spending 10, 15 hours a day just sitting in circles in a cordon while we just dug shit up and found shit. So it was fucking awesome. Like the amount of cases and shit we found out there. I was only realizing it the other day going through all my gear. I've got a big Afghani flag, and we started all our fly, all the fines that we had, we started putting on like tallying it all up on this Afghan flag. It's like we found some shit out there.
Hey,
Um,
hold on. I gotta
uh,
hear that again because I never heard you say this. You said the grunts were mad at you guys. At you guys, what happened? The grunts were mad
Mate,
at the
the
combat
boys,
engineers.
yeah, fucking hope, bro. So just because man, like we'd find something as soon as we'd have a fine, the infantry'd have to push out into a cordon, and then they're sat there fucking fighting a gonk monster trying to stay awake while we're having a field day, fucking digging up all fucking AKs and fucking IED componentries and shit, man. Like, yeah, for a teak for us was yeah was in that like for my troop, man, was like it was pretty crazy, man. We had no real incidences. We had a couple of little, it was just farmers having pot shots at us. No huge contacts to begin with. Um, the boys down at Muzazai, down at Wali and the platoon house were copping all the heat because out at Mirambad Valley, we said we sort of had the Tarankout was the main base, and we had Mirambad Valley up in the Trora Valley. So Alpha Company and us, we sort of looked after Mirambad Way. And when once we at this stage, after we shut down the platoon house, they were looking at setting us up across the road on the other side in another platoon house, but it was just fucking ridiculous, mate. It was they were getting within 50 to 100 meters, like being able to launch RPGs at us. It was fucking stupidity. So we canned that idea, and then we decided that we were going to build the base out at Muzazai. So we got tasked to head out to Muzazai for the last 3.5 months of my tour to build the base out there, right in between Atik and Wiley Muzazai was right in the middle of the Badlands. So it turned out where we built the base was directly across the road from a fucking Taliban hotel. It was a staging area. We had to
Oh shit!
actuate. We did that in an Arvanuma, and man, that was very, very appreciative that I didn't. Very, very devastated. It was the only time the grunts gave me the opportunity with a flashbang where I was going to get to kick doors in and throw flashbangs. And mate, so glad we didn't because I was going to go over the wall as we kicked the door in, bro. And me and my engineer partner, we had the fucking room full of women and children, bro. So fucking glad that didn't go over, man. Because yeah, you know what that feeling's like when you're kicking indoors, and it's not the bad guys, and you're confronted with a terrified family. It's yeah, completely different story, I suppose. But yeah, man, spent 3 months out there, and look, mate, that was fucking hectic. I was only just bringing up. I can't wait to show you all my helmet cam video footage and shit when we catch up together, brother. But yeah, I was only watching the Battle of Muzazai yesterday, man. That was our biggest one, mate. We were pinned down in the cornfield. We were close enough throwing grenades. I think we made some records that day for the Australian Army. It was the first time I think conventional forces had to have an emergency ammunition drop since Vietnam. Our two gun cars on the hill, ASLAV gun cars, the 25 mil, went through like 963 rounds in 3 hours between the two of them, more than any of our gun cars combined. And that day was really hectic because that was the day Curbs and Dale were killed, I'm pretty sure. It was actually the day that we lost Curbs and Dale, and yeah, man, it was hectic. That would if it wasn't for 4 days later, the Battle of Derapet, where Dan Kieran won his VC, mate, there would have definitely been some books and some stories written about the Battle of Muzazai, mate, because that was fucking hectic. But yeah, mate, it was 9 months out there, doing jobs, mate, up until we got there at that stage. Australia had lost 9 soldiers in 9 years. Us engineers were the first to suffer a loss on our rotation. I was actually on leave in London on Rockall when I got the news. I found out on fucking Facebook of all things that my mates Snowy and Smithy had been killed along with their explosive detection dog Herbie. Um, yeah, man, that's probably a whole podcast. Just those couple of days experience, bro, in the shit that we talk about. But yeah, man, that was up until that point. It was all fun and games for us, really. But I only had this conversation the other day. The moment I got off that plane and I was rejoined with the boys for the first time after the incident. Um, my mates Deno and Dolph were the ones that greeted me off the plane, man. And you know that 1,000 mile stare that they all talk about that we get, man. That
Hell
was when I
yeah.
saw it, bro. And that was the day. And it's the only way I've ever been able to describe it to any psychologist or psychiatrist or anyone that I've ever had this discussion with was that was the day that I knew that all of us had lost our innocence. You could see it in our eyes. There was that young alpha boy male warrior ego had been stripped of us, and we were now facing the bare reality of being men, I suppose. We walked up. I think the boys took me up to the chapel. I got to sign the chapel book, so I missed the ramp ceremony there. I was yeah, and that's another story again. But yeah, mate. And then we ended up in the next 6 weeks. We lost another 9 blokes. So our battle group, yeah, we experienced in roughly like a 6 to 8 week period, the loss of the Australian Army. It had felt over 9 years in the space of roughly 8 weeks. We doubled the list of casualties, and I knew everything could change for me then, mate. Like the first patrol back, we'd split an IED. I was the lead thing, split an IED down the centre. I was on the left hand side. We're just about to come up an aqueduct. Two set of Jundi sandals, shovel, hot chai tea. I was like, fuck, we're about to get crumped. Next thing you know, behind us goes bang. Lucky the ECMs had put us far enough away. But it was the first time that first 30 seconds when shot rings out where I didn't automatically react and find myself in a firing position, bro. Um, a shot rang out and I just turned, bro, fucking Rambo style, 30 fucking rounds from the hip, straight into the smoke, man, before I realised what the fuck was going on. And took cover. Um, but yeah, bro, I knew instantly then, like the fear of death had gone. And I suppose the only way to describe it for me, man, and being 100% honest now with all the things was, man, I wanted revenge. I was no longer there for fucking hearts and minds. I was there to fuck kill anyone that was trying to kill me or my mates because we just lost them. So that was when I changed, man, and my whole approach for the second half of that trip. Was completely different, man. And after I had the 11-year-old kid on the end of a pull string that we found before he crumped me, Dolph, and me fucking two scouts. Uh, um, that was when I knew I as a human being had changed, man. When I stopped looking at women and children as women and children and as just targets, um, I knew I'd
Yeah.
switched off.
Oh, fucking right.
Yeah, I knew I'd switched the fuck off from
Speak on
humanity.
that, bro.
Um, well, I suppose that was a lot of work that was obviously had to be done early on. So, um, it's a big summarize to jumping forward, guys. I didn't last long coming home after Afghanistan. I bought my family security business out of liquidation. I was married to the woman I met on leave. I spent 3 days with. I'd fucking brought over from England, and we were married within 6 months. I was out of the army, diagnosed with PTSD, a whole other bunch of shit. Um, but early on, mate, I know when this experience, and it was the only time my ex-wife ever properly witnessed one of my full-blown panic attacks. Um, I was up to the second riding of my 12-week exposure therapy, and it was like I've got a 3-day incidences all around that Battle of Muzazai and the boys and shit, where all my PTSD stems from. And in there, she goes, I need you to start writing about it. So the first session was I wrote about everything that happened over those 3 days, and it's still weird to this day, bro. And I know I think we had this, you and I have had that discussion. Like, even though I know it all, that everything that's happened, I still can't put it together in a timeline. Like, it's all still like I know where it all, but I can't in my head. I can't put it like in a cinematic roll of events. It's just this happened all in this sort of bubble, 3 day period. But what I did after the second one, after I'd wrote it and gone through the session and had to go back, she goes, I need you to go back now and read it and start writing in about how you were thinking and feeling at this time. And I couldn't touch the emotion, so I ended up having to ring. I think I rang, must have been Dolph, or might have been texting Hamo, my section commander, and I was speaking to my mate Dolph, and I blacked out this kid incident like completely. Um, and I've rang. I was Dolph on the phone, and he's like, so the incident occurred. So we'd been getting grenaded. What it is, we called a death alley right out the front of base, where we had to come back through most of the patrols. Um, and we were using we were using the low side, but every time we were using the low side, like they are having kids throwing grenades over walls and shit like that. The boys had a couple fucking defil grape in between them and didn't go off like between their legs and shit, man. So we stopped using the low side, but up on the high side, we already had a footpad, and it was just a fucking koala mud brick wall the whole way along. So it was just the worst death channel ever. Um, when we decided we kept using we kept using the high side, and this day I wanted to use the high side because I wasn't with it. I'd been wigging out. It was a couple of days in this 3 day period. And I just had a mad fucking, like, I nearly got in a punch on with the infantry section commander because he's like, I want to go through the corps, man. And I was shit scared of the corps. If I couldn't see and where I was going as an engineer, I didn't want to fucking go there. I had better eyes down a footpad and either side of it than I did walking blindly through a fucking cornfield. And I said, if you want to go through those corners, then you can ask your scouts to lead because I'm not walking through there. My mind lab's useless. Anyways, he saved our lives that day because he's like, no, we're not going the high side. We've been using it too many times. We're going down to the side. I've walked through, and out the corner of my eye, I've got this 11-year-old kid squatting. I'm like, full, like, oi, fuck, get out of here. I'm bringing him out. And I keep walking, and just as I'm walking up, this old bloke with two sheep's like thing, and he's mouthing to me, Talib, Talib. And I'm like, fuck it. And I'm fired up at that point. And I'm like, oi, get the fucking interpreter. I've grabbed this kid and his older brother. It was like, sat him down. And just as that happened, I got over the comms. Our JTAC SIGs aerial had just hit a wire. I was like, fuck, this kid was either. My instant reaction was he was planting a bomb. I wasn't thinking, but as I've walked back and I looked at it, I was like, no, this is a pull string. He was sitting on the end of it waiting for us to come where we'd usually go. Once I'd gotten there and I found the pull string and realized what he'd done, bro, the last thing I remember doing is going to instant on my weapon. And the next thing I remember, which I didn't remember until this phone call that night with Dolph, who told me this was probably the scariest he ever was. He goes, I remember going instant. He said that I'd walk back. I'd just put this gun, the barrel of my gun, to this 11-year-old kid's head, pushed his head into the dirt, and then the two or three of the boys just dragged me off. After this happened, the only vision I got, bro, was this little Afghani kid had gone pale white, and all I could smell was he'd pissed himself, and all I could smell was his dehydrated piss. So this had obviously shaken me up massively as I was going through it. And was I using speed at the time? Was I self-medicating at that point? I can't remember. But regardless of anything, I'd gone to the toilet. It was about 9:30 that night. I'd done all my homework for me counsellor. I was pretty shaken up after it. But as I've gone to piss, man, I the dehydration smell. I must have had the same. I must have been dehydrated as well. As soon as I seen it, this kid just popped up out of the toilet, man. Fucking. I got onto the bed and I just like yeah, it was for about an hour, man, and I was like, oh shit, fucking, that was some, man, that took some serious processing to get through, man. And then obviously after that was triggered, I spent a lot of time with my psychologist over the next couple of months, really working on that process. But the one thing I still to this day couldn't accept it, um, is you've just got to accept that that they were the enemy and they were trying to kill you. I get that, but I can't accept that the world in the world, kids at 11 year old in this time age with the technology we got are still able to pick up a fucking gun and want to fucking kill one another, kill other human beings. That just doesn't process with me. I made demons with. I made my. I've laid those demons to bed and was able to process that was war. That was a war incident, and it was something that we were all in survival mode, not just us soldiers. That every single person in that country during a war episode, military or civilian, is in survival mode, and we're all just trying to survive. So I was able to put that to bed, and I didn't really have problems again. As my because my son's 13, it was as he was starting to get to 9 or 10 that those things started to really resurface for me, once he was around the same age as man, because that was when he was wanting to start. Because my kids weren't allowed nothing, no guns, no Nerf guns, nothing violent. I didn't want my kids to see nothing violent growing up, as like I did. I didn't want them I didn't want them motivated by violence like I was. But he obviously getting to that age, mate, where all his friends and that are all doing it, and I was like, oh, I've got to process this stuff now, because I obviously didn't process it then. And that was the part that, like you said, mate, it's a never ending continuous journey. It doesn't matter how many trips to the cycle board you do, mate. Even once you think you've got it all worked out, you're starting again. So I learned through that process then, 10 years on, after first going through it, that you're still breaking those cycles as these things are being remembered. Um, as we continue on our healing journey. Like they say, you'll never get over PTSD. You'll learn to live with it.
Right, right, right. Okay, bro. First off, let's let everyone know, that about the QR code that we have up so that they can, find out about you, research.
Beautiful, the link tree up there, mate. Look, we're talking technology, mate. I've got people behind me sorting that stuff out at the moment. This link tree takes you to all my socials, personally, and my business socials, and website also. Um, Mate, just a push at the moment. I forgot to mention that, mate. Your book, brother, unbelievable, guys.
What's
If you
up?
haven't read it, it is a must. Get on there, support my brother. Have a absolute wonderful read, mate. I was able to read it on the plane in a couple of hours. For all us fucking, all us people that aren't for those that went to university. It is a brilliant read, straight to the point, straight to the heart, mate. Well, I haven't spoken to you properly since, brother. Congratulations, mate. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Thanks, man. I
And
appreciate it.
I really look forward to growing on, helping you put together the next one. Because I think you and I are both going to continue putting out a lot of knowledge, brother. With the journeys that we've walked, and the platforms that we're now putting together to be able to share this with, mate. Like I told the guys on the DV radio, this is now bigger and above me, mate. I spent 7 years in the volunteer sector healing everyone when I wasn't healing myself. I was learning everything how to heal myself, but I was trying to use that to heal everyone, so I didn't have to do the real work on myself. My history, mate. I've been there, done it all. I've got my draft book out, and Bo's been absolutely amazing. I've got my team also. We're putting that together to coincide. I've got another veterans book. I believe there's going to be a few of us, mate. With the technology we got now, we're all able to share our stories. And I hope through what we're starting to do, reaching out and connecting with all the veterans in the world, sharing all our stories, and turning our pain into purpose, brother. That's the biggest thing, I suppose. Everything I got after my little AI magic book come together, and found myself back in with you guys is. I've done the healing for myself, actually, not just about I'm off to Thailand tomorrow on my little pilgrimage, and then I've got another. Believe it or not, I'm going in for my 14th stay, in another facility. It's been a hectic 6 months for me now, but instead of going in, uh, when it's going in and having to do too much work, I've recognised that after this last 8 months of my life that I'm at that point where I'm reaching burnout and I need a refresh. And if I just keep doing the old soldier thing, push through it, I'll burn myself out and I'll ruin all the good work that I've put in. So I've recognised that the life of an entrepreneur after healing and what I've done, single dad life while the missus has been away. Wow, man. Yeah, I deserve a break from me now. I've given everything to everyone. Now I'm taking the next 6 weeks with me and my partner to solidify the family side of things for the next steps as everything starts to grow. I've laid down all the foundations. Got the team behind us now to grow everything in here in Thailand. They're going to be able to keep you guys in the US up to date. And mate, we're pushing forward. This is a national movement. I have blueprints that I believe that we can utilize all around the world for every veteran that has seen combat. And not only is it for veterans that have seen combat, but it's also going to be education for the families on how to deal with this because the 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 everyone wants to support the veteran coming home, guys. What I want to tell everyone right now is that we lose so many of us is because the families don't understand. We don't know how to help us because we don't know how to help ourselves. And what I believe I can do is help educate any veteran in any walk of life, from any background, any history. Is I can show you no matter where you've come from, what family you're in, with the help of your family being with the right education, this can be a healing journey that you do together. And it'll not only heal the stuff that you've seen in combat, it'll also heal generational curses, I believe, passed down through our genetics, through our parents and our grandparents also. The programs I'm working on with my mother, at the moment, we're unwrapping 7 generations of military trauma, and we've got the science, the lived experience now, and all the spiritual and ancient knowledge tying it all together. We're getting away from VAs just pumping us full of pills, giving us a pension and fucking us off, that's for sure.
All right. Now, I'm gonna let's see. I mentioned the Psych Ward gang, all right, because it is my idea for acknowledging uh, mental health in the military community. All right, so
I love
that's
it,
why I
brother.
came up with Psych Ward gang. Now, it's twofold. Also, whenever you go to most mental health or psych facilities, there's usually always another war veteran in there, right? So
Yep.
around the world, whenever veterans meet in these, hospitals, psych facilities, institutions, we all get together and call ourselves Psych Ward Gang. Now, this used to
Yep.
just apply to the military and whatnot, but it no longer only applies to us. It applies to everyone with any type of mental health struggle or
Exactly right,
condition.
brother.
Um, hey, if you had to get help in any way, just know that there's some other military veterans around the world who admit that they've had to get help too. So salute, and also, hey, if you run into
100%.
any type, oh, I'm sorry, bro. Hey,
No,
if you
I
run into any
salute you,
type
brother.
of
Keep going. Saluting you, brother. Keep going.
if you run into any type of mental health crisis, be sure to dial the digits 988 and choose option one. All right, just as I had to after the war during my own moments of crisis, dial the digits 988, choose option one. All right, for any mental health crisis that you happen to be going through. All right, so we have what we call the psych ward gang, right? Uh, I used to call myself, I used to call myself the president of the psych ward gang because I have five trips myself over several years, dealing with everything from unaliving to uh, PTSD or major depression, all kinds of stuff, right? And hey, remember me, I don't say anger management. With us, those that have been to war, it's called war anger management. All right, because we go on a whole nother motherfucking level when we get mad. All right, there's anger, and then there's war anger. You dig what I'm saying? That war anger where you're allowed to shoot, kick shit, blow shit, whatever, to shit,
The
house
shit,
shit
the anger
on another level.
that allows you to take a human being's life.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. All right, so like I said, I call myself. I used to say to them, I'm the president or the president and patient of the psych ward gang. All right, now I am no longer the motherfucking president by a long means. You hear what I'm saying? This guy that we're talking to right now, this Afghanistan war veteran from the country of Australia. Hey, Tommo, tell him about your background, your history, your connection, and why around the world we now know him and call him the CEO of the Psych Ward Gang.
Much respect, brother.
What's up?
Righto. So, um, well, the unlucky number, lucky number, depends where you are in the world. 13 is where we're sitting at the moment, guys. My first admission
Wait.
was
Let's be
back
clear.
here.
13 what?
13 admissions into psychiatric facilities, and a couple of oh no, and one rehabilitator. It's a mental health, it's a holistic mental health hospital. I'd call it more of a rehab, proper rehab than thing. So 11 mostly voluntary stays, or family uh, telling me it's time to go to hospital stays. One involuntary stay. Um, and yeah, the last stay was at a clinic in Byron Bay Private, which I would say was more of a rehab. Um, so let's go through the start of them, guys. Obviously, excuse me. The start of it was back in. Well, we're gonna have to go back to. So I got home after I was diagnosed with PTSD. Uh, 2 months before I got out of the army in 2011. So I got home from Afghanistan in 2010, October 2010. I was already getting medication. They were giving me Seroquel for sleep in December. So I knew within the first month of being home that something wasn't right. Um, yeah, I was discharged. I managed to discharge. I discharged myself from the army, even though they told me I needed 6 months of help. Basically, walked into me GP, the fucking RAP, and said to the doc, "You discharge me now. I'm just going to walk around smashing every fucker's head in that pisses me off because I can't be here. I see anything military, I just want to fucking kill cunts." And he's like, "Well, you're gone. I can see you later." It helped that I'd just bought my parents' security business out of liquidation, so I had a job to go to. I didn't realize that after my 4 years was up, the contract that I signed, that they could still fucking keep me there if they wanted to. And that's why I ended up writing so many letters of employment as my boss to get the boys out of the army. They were all coming to work security with me because they couldn't get out because they needed fucking employment. Um, but look, I before I got diagnosed, I think it would have been about March. Yeah, it was just before I found out my girlfriend at the time, who was 19, from England, was pregnant. I'd just been diagnosed with PTSD. I took my whole troop over to the boozer, let them know what was going on. Told them, speak up, and this isn't normal. What we're going through right now, especially after they gave us 3 months leave and we spent all our money drinking piss and taking drugs. Um, uh, I yeah, mate. I don't know what it was coming back, mate. As soon as I got back, and all the blokes that didn't make the trip because they're fucking useless and they had rank and were trying to tell you that you got to fucking hide your clothes and fuck off, dickhead. Mate, my fucking, I've been to war, and me fucking leaving me fucking pocket open is not going to kill anyone. Trust me, I've done it. I couldn't deal with the barracks life anymore, bro. It fucking drove me insane. Um, uh, and yeah, obviously, the month after being diagnosed, I found out that my missus was pregnant, and that spun me, man, because at that point we'd been supporting Ange and Kaz and Ange's Smithy's 3-year-old son, Mace, man, and we'd lost a couple of guys that had just had kids, man, and there was no way I was putting. As a single bloke, it was easy to go to war, you know. You didn't think you were a young single bloke, you didn't have anything to worry about. But with I couldn't have done the job that I did in Afghanistan with the thought of not going home to my own children. So that was clear for me. Also, there was an incident with my CO, and a show cause that kept me from getting promoted that played a role in that too. But everything happens for a reason. So I was out of the army after getting home from Afghanistan. 6 months, 5 months diagnosed with PTSD. 6 months, I just found out my girlfriend was pregnant. 7 months out of the army, engaged. 8 months married. Um, Within 12 months, I'd lost the family business and the family home. I was back working out with all the people I'd grown up with before I joined the army, and I wasn't making money, so I did what I had to do to survive. And how I knew to make money quick was start doing things I shouldn't be doing. And to start off with, it was just about the money, but then I also started using it. Then the self medication began. Within 12 months, I had lost the family business, my family home, um, and I'd picked up a speed habit. Um, when my son was 6 months old, I completely broke down and sent my ex-wife, and him back to England. And I was admitted into Heidelberg Repat Hospital in Melbourne for the first time, um, with my mental health completely getting the better of me, after a 7-day ice bender, meth bender. Um, yeah, mate, and that was the first trip. So, the first trip down there was obviously it was scary, but I was in there. I was very lucky that the ward that I went to in Melbourne was a emergency services and veterans PTSD trauma ward, so it was very very specific. Um, the cohort was mainly Vietnam veterans, which I consider now to have been very very lucky. Later on, seeing younger veterans together with the social media and shit today, it's unhealthy. We just go in there and feed into this victim mentality that we're all victims and we've got to play the system so the VAs look after us. Um, but during that I did my first day there, was I think nearly 8 weeks. So I had to dry out, get my shit together, and really get an understanding of what was going on. That then obviously that triggered my ex-wife and my son to come home. And then over the next 2 years, mate, I went back twice down to Melbourne. And I learned a very valuable lesson there on my second stint, which we spoke about last time, was when it was a moment with a Vietnam veteran combat medic that was very highly medicated. He'd never come to any of the groups, never really spoke, just had his coffee and his ciggies, walked around in his dressing down. Um, but we'd had a heavy session, and this dude leaned over and he said, whispered into my ear, basically, like, I wish I spoke about this shit 40 years ago. And that sent something off in me. I didn't know what it was going to become, and pretty much until I got up to Queensland. But I did one more stay there before all my shit with the VA was our VA was finalised, and once my compensation and everything was paid for, I had to get out of living with my mum and dad. And I wanted to move back up to Brizzy to get closer to all my mates. Bought the first house that we could. I was in such a rush just to get out of there. Moved into the worst place ever. It was just another. It was just the ghetto. Our version of a ghetto in Australia. With the only owner. Yeah, it wasn't good times. But my purpose had changed. I'd got up here and I'd got back with my mates. And Mully, that is the president of the 42 for 42. Me and him were trying to put together a sappers association, which I tried to rewrite the Vietnam Veterans Constitution, like 42 pages or something. It come back with amendments after I'd done it, so I was like, that's too difficult. So we started. We did what was the Sappers Run was our first charity event, and we went from our barracks in Brisbane up to my mate that was killed's hometown, Snowy, 360 k's. Mully ran it all over 6 days, 6.5 days. I did all the logistics and everything for it. We raised about 20 grand, I think, for the RAE Foundation. And just bringing the boys back together with some purpose, mate, and with a goal was really inspirational. So that led on. Um, I was still secretly using on and off at this time, still managing myself. Um, so there was times there. As soon as I just have incidences, mate. Over the next 5 years there, I'd do 3 stays at the Currumbin Clinic after a stay at the Gold Coast Public Hospital. Man, that was, you go to one of them after you've been into a private ward, you feel pretty fucking sane pretty quickly, man. You think, yeah, man, that once you get into the depths of mental health and you see how traumatizing it is, and that's all it is, man. That's all I see in any psychiatric ward. Is that I look through it. I don't give a fuck about any of the diagnosis. I look through all the behaviors, all the mannerisms, and I try to understand the trauma that's behind it all, that's caused them to create this version of themselves as what I call the protector, for them to get through their daily lives. Um, uh, we then moved out. I mean, I was still volunteering hard, like we said, man. Like I was, the more the volunteer kicked off with the 42 for 42, the harder I was working, the more I was using the meth to manage family, uh, and all the volunteer work I was doing, and I just keep burning myself out, mate. And that was the reasons for the hospitals, because I still wasn't dealing with my own PTSD. Nor was I acknowledging any of my addictions, really, because every time we went in, we were focusing on the trauma that was leading me to using. And then I think it was about my seventh stint. By the time we'd moved from Coomera and we'd got out of there after I did a stay down, we went 9 months down to Byron just to get away from everything and move back up to where I am now. I'd been diagnosed with adult ADHD as also during that time, but they'd given me a non-stimulant because of my stimulant abuse history. And yeah, that it didn't work. I ended up nearly in the hospital with me dick nearly exploding. With priapism or whatever they call it, man. It was fucking scary. But it wasn't until I got up and I was able to, I'd finally started. I had a, well, actually, my doctor at the time was an ex-special forces doctor. And he was brilliant, man. He was able to help me stabilize myself um, with, I even got up to the Xanax to the point which I was able to start managing without having to use. And then I went for my first admission into Caloundra, which was, I think was my eighth admission, man. And the team up there, Jenny Melrose, and my psychiatrist, Dr. Duchesne Alponzo, man, they were life changing. What I probably haven't said on this one is the whole time I've been in and out of psychiatric wards, guys, I've never lied to my treating team ever. I've hid everything from everybody else around me, but whenever I've gone into hospital, I go into hospital and I get the fucking help that I'm there for. There's no point going into hospital, guys, to fucking just dry out with no intentions of fucking getting clean or actually dealing with any trauma. It's a waste of fucking not only time and money, it's the people that could be utilizing their services to help someone that actually wants it. Um, so up at Caloundra, I did those 4 or 5 stays up there. I'd finally got medicated on Vyvanse for my ADHD after trying every antidepressant, antipsychotic. Um, to a point, there was a point there that I was like having to operate off 6 milligrams of Xanax a day, like 2 milligrams for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, just to be able to get my kids to school, just to be able to leave the house or go to the shopping center. Like, that's that would sedate most fucking horses, let alone being able to function on it. Um, and that shit wasn't good either because the memory loss that comes with that was, yeah. I suppose the reason is so it's probably one of the most addictive ones for me, and why I've always got to manage the benzos if I'm ever using them is because, yeah, that memory of not having to remember anything is like a blessing when you've got a head like mine that remembers absolutely everything. So yeah, we went through. I did some absolutely amazing work up there because I believed once I got medicated for my ADHD as well as my complex PTSD, major depressive disorder, polysubstance abuse disorder. They've tried me for bipolar. You name it. Look, fucking between me and my sister, and it's a big reason why my focus is not just on military anymore. But you know what, I'm caught you up to date with my sister's back in care at the moment, mate. After the not even within a month of me going down there doing everything I can to try and get her out of there. So uh that's yeah, mate. I did those up there. I stopped focusing on the trauma side of Afghanistan because I'd really dealt with that, and I dealt with that through exposure therapy in my own way because I'm a public speaker, and through all my volunteer work, I've got to share my stories and share my experiences in and out of hospitals, which has helped me deal with it, I believe. I think it was for me personally, the exposure therapy was the most healing part of all of it. If you're able to talk about it, I believe, then you're able to heal from it because you're able to get it out there, and if you can get to someone that's emotionally not connected, they're able to help you process it. So yeah, mate, we got up to there, and look, because I was a secret drug addict, 12 months leading up to my divorce, um, I'd the closest people around me had started using, man, and I'd started to stop, and I was celebrating myself for 12 months of probably the soberest I'd been since I was probably 12 years old. And I was watching everyone else around me start to fall into the trap to use to escape dealing with their own problems. I was really picturing it. I'd sort of really felt like I'd put together, man. I did some amazing therapy. I'd done ketamine infusion therapy. That was insane, crazily insane, and that was yeah another life-changing experience of part of the therapies I've done. I've done so many different therapies. Uh, if it's been able to be offered to me, and I've been able to access it to try it, I've used it, mate. Uh, and yeah, mate, everything was going good up until yeah, an incident about 6 months before my divorce, and it was drug involved again. And that just completely destroyed destroyed me and my ex-wife. This incident, and we sort of. Well, I didn't realize it at the time, but I can look back now. We were definitely going our own separate ways at that point. We were leading up to it led up to our separation on Boxing Day 2022. I was yeah, I was as manic as I was at the time. I thought I was coping with it as the best I could after 12 years, seeing the pain that me and my ex-wife were carrying, and how much it was affecting our children. I knew that I had to be the strong one and make the tough decision that neither of us wanted to make. And when I realized that she was there as that too, we finalized that. Now I went and healed in my own way on New Year's Day. In the morning, we walked the kids. We left happily. I went and stayed with my best mates. Two of my best mates got on the got on the acid that night, and I laid there and cried for 10 hours straight while those guys had the night of their lives. I come back the next morning, bro, and it was Zach Bryan's song "Mine Again." Actually, that whole album, Heartbreak, man, was my whole album that got me before and after my divorce. But that song came on, man, and it was. I ran around the house crying, kicking things. Like this energy that went through me was absolutely unreal, man. It was like euphoric. Like I had reached full acceptance that this is what needed to happen. This was the right thing, and I was ready for it. Finally, no one else had to worry about me. I took the kids the day after down to Melbourne with my family. I was having the most amazing days. But because I was handling my divorce so well, all those closest to me were starting to really freak out that I was unwell. They believed after I'd had the acid that I may be in a drug-induced psychosis, especially with my ex-wife and her best friend and my best mate all working in the health sector. Um, I started getting phone calls from my psychologist, my psychiatrist. Are you all right? And then I just started sending manic messages trying to convince everyone that I was sane because everyone started thinking I was insane. And I'm thinking, this is the best I've ever felt. Like, what's going on here? Like, now I was starting to question myself, but the way my mind works and everything, I refuse to accept. Yes, I was manic. Yes, I was handling it in a way that was different. Um, but something had triggered, and they managed able to convince my old man by this stage that he was what he was seeing in me compared to what my mother was seeing in me was completely different. He thought I was going bonkers. He was probably recognizing the same shit he'd seen in my sisters and within himself, um, but without the control, I suppose. So there was a blow up. I went around to I took off from my auntie's place. I went and had a chill. Probably spoke to the wrong person ever, which was my sister at that time, because she was like, "This is what's happened to me. They're fucking taking your kids off you," and I really started to buy into that story. That they were the try that my ex-wife and my parents like were that concerned about me that they were trying to get the kids away from me, remove them from me, which I never believed in my entire life up until that point would ever happen because they'd been through everything with me. I'd gone back to my auntie's house. She knocked on the door. I knocked on the door, and then my old man told me, he's like, "Man, you can't come in." I'd found out that the ambulance was coming, that my ex-wife had called the ambulance. And at this point, which is the anger that I was in, and at this point too, I was still on parole. Um, uh, I couldn't, in my mind, couldn't understand with my ex-wife knowing me so well and the state that I was in, why she would call the ambulance knowing that the police were coming first. Like I was in a state. Um, and we've just experienced personally recently, mate. Like this, one of these coppers got out, bro, and did not know how to handle me. Just walked up straight with an attitude, thought he was a gangster because he had a gun on his hip. If it wasn't for my dad being able to turn my aggression to him, like I would have, I would have, I would have, yeah, I'd be in handcuffs, I'd be in jail because I would have just beating this copper's fucking head in. But like I managed to channel my aggression and I just unloaded everything on my old man. Regardless of anything, the copper I didn't have to wait for the ambulance. I got in an Uber, and was taking myself to the fucking first hospital I knew that I couldn't get into. And I was like, I'll go there, everything will calm down. I'll get myself to the airport, then I'll message dad, I'll say, get the hire car, get the kids, bring them to the hospital, I'm going home. And then they tell me, no, the kids aren't coming with you. And that there's police, there's going to be an ambulance waiting for you when you get off the plane in Brisbane. And then by this point, mate, you can imagine I'd been away for over, well, I'd done an all-nighter at this point. This is like 6 o'clock in the morning. Mate, I'm thinking the world's turned against me. I think my whole belief system had been completely shattered. The three people that I thought would never do this to me were doing this to me. I went full fucking special forces mode when I got to the airport in Brisbane. I was fucking sass-catted my way out of there. Got to the car park, man. I was on the wrong level, and I fucking couldn't find my car. I thought it was stolen, and I was about to throw myself off the 6th story. Literally, man. As I was walking up, I was like, I'm fucking done. I was looking to make sure there was no people, and as that happened, my fucking phone rang. It was my psychologist. She calmed me down. She got me to my car. I cruised home. By that stage, I had 2 or 3 of my best mates rock up, and I just went violent and just said, "Get the fuck out of here! You're all part of this. You can all fuck off." They all left, man. I don't want it. Look, the next 48 hours includes $10,000, a hooker, half a ball of pure cocaine, half a ball of MDMA, 5 acid trips, 12 to 15 ecstasy tablets. I don't know how much alcohol and how much cannabis was smoked during that point. But they all thought I was crazy, and I had got in my mind, well, now that you think I'm crazy, I'm gonna show you what fucking crazy is. Mate, it went 24 hours. It was pretty fucking hectic here. By the time the coppers arrived for the welfare check at 8 o'clock on the Sunday night, mate, I knew that they were coming. I knew that I was getting sent to hospital. I knew the fucking ambos were coming. So at this point, the coppers have arrived. I'm in this hooker's back the front G-string, and this hooker at this time, she was 140 kilos, mate. Kilograms. I don't know what that is in pounds, like times that by 2.5. Like she was big, brother, big. Like, yeah, she went to jail. You wouldn't want to meet her in jail. She'd fuck you up. So I had her G-string on back the front with a pair of hospital slippers and my cowboy hat. The 2 coppers are walking up to the front door here, bro, and I could see through that window there. Oh, mate, the first copper was sweet. He's just like, yeah, mate, we're here just to do a welfare check. But I could see his buddy go and unclip his taser, man. And I was calm until that point. But as soon as I seen that was an act of aggression, bro. And you know what that is, right? That's fucking, what do you do with an act of aggression? Bro, I instantly just said, fucking you dickhead, my door opened that way, and I'll kick that fucking fly screen in, and both of you cunts are going to be up against the door, up against the wall, and you're not going to have access to either of your fucking guns. And then I like realized what I just said to the coppers, and I was like, sorry, boys, fucking relax. Look, just come in, drop some acid with me, smoke a few bongs, and we'll get through this. Invited the coppers in, man. Like, I think I was on the phone with my sister still at this point.
Hey, Tommo.
And anyway, yo.
Tommo, give me 1 second. 1 second. Something's not right. I think we might have to turn this into a 2-part. Is that okay with you?
Go for it, brother. Just remind me where I was at.
Shit. To be honest with you, the last thing I remember is when you were talking about some of the things you self medicated with. But hold on, give me
Okay.
a second. Give me a second. I'm gonna restart this, refresh it, and I might have to
Yep.
send you a new link. All right.
No dramas, brother. Got me?
Yeah, you there?
Beautiful.
Oh shit. Well, I guess it didn't stop.
Yeah. It didn't stop?
Uh-uh. My just it
Ah,
just
well,
I mean
I
on
should have kept talking through. Sorry for that. Things next time we'll put paid promotions in the ads.
well you go ahead, man. You go ahead, continue.
But so it didn't stop. Well, what do you last remember? We'll go back to that, bro. You know what we're like.
Self medicated.
Self-medicated. So I told you how much I'd had in that 24-hour period.
Yep.
Yeah. And I told you about the coppers rocking up.
Mm, can't
Oh,
remember
so
that
all that,
part.
yeah, mate, it's 8 o'clock on Sunday night. I had the music just
No,
pumping.
yeah, you did. I'm sorry, because you said your fellas, you wanted to fight your boys, your mates. You wanted to fight your
Oh,
guys.
okay, so yeah, I just had the
And you
mates,
said
but
you
after
thought
I'd
they were
taken
all
all
in
that,
on it.
yeah. So after all that, mate, then I had the hooker, and then all the drugs. And then the coppers arrived. I knew they were coming because I knew the welfare check. I knew the ambulance was coming because they all wanted me in hospital, and I didn't want to go. Um, and yeah, so the first copper that rocked up to the door, bro, he was sweet. Yeah, but I caught out of the corner of the other window with the blinds open, old mate going across to his taser. And you know what it's like, brother. That's an act of aggression. So he's escalate. That's an escalation of force instantly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and doesn't matter that I thought I'd downloaded 12,900 years worth of information. I could shoot lightning bolts out my fingers. I'm still a soldier, and regardless of how cooked I was, you have just escalated it when it didn't need to be. So my instant reaction was like, "You stupid cunt! I'll kick this fucking front door in. Both of you are going to be up against the wall, pinned, and you aren't going to have access to your guns or your tasers." And then I realized what I said. I was like, "Fuck, sorry, boys. Why don't you just come on in and have some acid and a few bongs with me, and we'll work this shit out." Anyways, I knew what they were for, mate. I wasn't playing the game. I knew what they were there for, and I was like, I knew. Like at this point, I thought it was my ex-wife calling them. Mate, it could have been any of my neighbours. Fuck, I was the way I was dressed, standing out the front on the phone, screaming like I was doing the scene from Braveheart. Freedom. Uh, Mate, like this is eight. Yeah, mate, I think 3 people in my street moved out in the next month after my episode. Um, uh, yeah, bro. But my man, this is how fucked up my head was. I was like, well, fucking, you all think I'm crazy, and especially, and I thought it was all led by my ex-wife, and she works at the local psychiatric ward as a mental health nurse, and I'm like, right over these guys, it's like they're coming in, they're just making sure it's prescription weed, bro. I didn't realize the 8 acid tabs that I tried to shelf that I wanted to take into the psych ward with me so I could stay fucking cooked for days and just trip out me ex-wife's bosses. Um, uh, I shouldn't have watched Gangs of Harlem. Um, uh, uh, yeah, fucking, I was. I'm not normal, am I? And
Hey,
this is after
to
taking all these drugs. I still had these thoughts in my head. I was like, I still thought it was a game. I was like, you think I'm crazy? Fuck, I'll keep taking drugs, all the drugs that you give me, and I'll make you think I'm even crazier, and then I'll pop out the other side. Hi, I'm back. Yeah, bro, anyways, I'm like, fucking cut to the chase, boys. I know why he's here. Fuck the ambulance. We're going to be sitting here waiting for ages. He's not going to let me smoke me bongs or drink me fucking piss. Let's go. My neighbour tells the story. He goes, it's like Homer Simpson, mate. I just walked out, didn't even have my dressing gown on. I was just in my fucking G-string, me fucking hospital slippers, and me little cowboy hat. And he goes, Barnsey! I've yelled out to me neighbour as I was putting myself into the back of the fucking cop car. I was like, Barnsey, I've worked out the keys to life. It's acid. And I've like, apparently it was like Homer Simpson. He's like, woohoo! And just jumped into the back of the paddy wagon. Um, I was good then, bro. Everything, I thought I was in control then until they closed the back door, bro. And then the claustrophobia after Bushmasters in Afghanistan kicked in, bro. And I was like, oh, fuck, the real ride's on now. All I've got is this little white fucking light sitting in the back with all the plastic. I'm like, well, where are we going from here? And I was like, nah, fuck it. Let's just keep riding it. Let's just pretend this is a space shoot, and I'm fucking launching off. I don't want to come back to this reality. So I was like, I was fucking rocking in the back of the divvy van, fucking trying to like pretend I was with fucking speaking to fucking Elon Musk, getting him to launch me a rocket. Um, Man, we got to the psych ward, bro. Um, I got to the hospital. And I don't know what I must have turned. Like I don't remember. I thought I was pretty peaceful through most of it, but obviously I wasn't. Like as I just said, fucking violent very fucking quickly, and then turn on a dime. Psychotic. But they wouldn't let me out of the back of the paddy wagon at the hospital. So fucking just take me in, boys. Or cuff me, whatever you want to do. Like I needed, mate. I had the pasties so bad, like the driest mouth. I'm like, just get us some water. I need a piss. And they're like, nah, nah, nah. And then I was starting to get angry because they wouldn't let me out. That's where I got angry. That's where it changes. You wouldn't comply. Okay, well, fuck you, cuss. I was like, fuck is that? So I just pissed myself in the back of the van. Just so I knew that they had to clean it up later, the fuckers. um, as they've gone open the door the first time, man, there must have been 8 coppers there, all standing up, ready to like slam the door shut on me. And I'm like, I'm not that big. Like, I don't think like I'm on acid. I'm not a mess, so I don't know what. Like, I'm pretty fucking. I don't know where you're thinking I get to get this human straight. Anyways, they've opened up the door, mate, and they fucking give me water, and then they gave me the first fucking jab, and I was like, you fucking idiots, you've just given me more drugs. So I'm sitting in the back of the wagon, going, woohoo, let's ride this one too, boys. Um, couldn't settle me down. They're like, do you want to come out of here? I'm like, fucking yes. So they open up the door and there's a fucking handful of fucking Lanzapine and fucking Valium. And I'm like, yeah, fucking sweet. More drugs, you beauty. Keep this party going. They finally let me out, mate. They've got 8 of them on the fucking, they've managed to cuff me and get me in onto the bed. And I'm gotten in there and fucking my dick's about this big because everything's just gone internal. This copper's feeling very uncomfortable, man. And I'm like, bro, what's wrong, man? Because I kept trying to touch him. So I'm like, mate, is this making you uncomfortable? I was just being a shit stirrer, man, as I do. Like, the funniest thing was, though, like, all the security guards are big Islander dudes. And I could see, man, even as cooked as I was, I could see these guys trying not to laugh because I was just being a fuckwit. But the last thing I remember after they give me the second jab in the bum, remember just starting to come down, and I was like, yeah, this is to come down now. I didn't have to do it. This is going to be fucking sweet. Talking to the coppers, it's all calmed down there. I mustn't wanted to kill anyone anymore. So everyone was sweet. All the cuffs and that are going off. Mate, the copper that wanted to kill me, like, at the start, man, at the end of it, he shook my hand and he goes, man, I'm never ever going to forget January the 8th. Never ever am I going to forget this day. I still joke about it, man. If they've got the body cam footage of that night, fuck, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it, man, because it'd be yeah, it'd be fucked up. But that shows you what happens when you go crazy, I suppose. But man, anyway, so that was the biggest of that was rock bottom, brother. I had blown up my entire world to smithereens. I've done what engineers do best, mate, demolitions. And I was a pretty good fucking sapper, and I knew how to blow shit up, so I did that. Look, I look back now, subconsciously, there's a method to my madness, I believe. I knew for me and my ex-wife to not end up repeating the same cycle we'd been repeating for 12 years, I needed to fuck up big enough this time that we couldn't repair it. I didn't intend on fucking it up like the way I did, obviously, and causing the pain and hurt that I did. I'll be forever grateful for that. And for anyone that I hurt that watches this during that time, from the bottom of my heart, I apologize. Um, the deepest regrets, but it's me. I can't live with those regrets, so I have to laugh about it. I have to make a joke about it because it's how I move on. Um, yeah, bro. So that was my first involuntary stay, and that was probably this is where my depth of wanting to help not only veterans that have been into these places, but anyone that has to experience one of these involuntary stays in the public system. I don't know what it's like in America, man, but if it's fucked here, I can only imagine it only be 10 times worse over there. So, mate, the craziest thing about all of this, yeah, man, I come and within 24 hours, like 16 hours, I think later, I come to Caboolture, and because it was a conflict of interest with my wife working there, ex-wife working there, I couldn't stay there, obviously. So they transferred me down to the Prince Charles in Brisbane. Within 24 hours of coming out of my drug-induced psychosis, man, I'm telling the social worker my story. She's telling me I've got to come back and be a peer-to-peer support worker. She goes, your story was just phenomenal, man. Honestly, it was. I left there with a bit of a messiah complex because the way that these other people were treated, and this is where I really hated the difference between me having the veteran status to care compared to anyone else's experienced trauma status. And this is why I want to use the veteran card to rally for the mental health side of things, is because these poor people were getting looked they I was getting treated like I was a completely different human being to them because I had a history with a gold card that got me private health support, private health a support, not like these poor people stuck in the public system. Um, yeah, so I left there, and these look. I hope that any of these guys that I was in there that still follow me get to hear that, guys. You are a big part of this journey for me, and you inspired me to want to help at a much greater level. Anyways, I did a week there, 5 days there, and then whatever the transfer was to get across to my back up to Caloundra, my unit. And it was interesting that trip because for the first time ever, I was in over Christmas, New Year's, and when you're in private facilities, you don't see the drug addicts or your standard alcoholics during that period because that's when we're all partying. If you're an addict, that's when you're partying. But that's when the professionals with these problems and burnout go into these facilities. So that trip after a thing, I'd spend the next 3-4 weeks up there with I ended up dating an emergency department doctor from there. That was
You
a
did
patient
what?
with me.
Hold up, run
Yeah.
that back.
So she was a patient. Just remember, she was a patient. But I spent the next 9 months after we got out, no, next 10 months after I got out of hospital, with her, exploring, being a single man again, with a woman that explores the world amazingly. And she was she was in there after burnout of but working as a emergency department doctor for 3 years during COVID. She was completely.
Hold on. So you telling me when you the CEO of the Psych Ward gang, global, international. Over here in the
Yeah.
U.S., I'm just the sergeant at arms of the Psych Ward gang, right? But
Brother, you're still
I
the
need to
president.
say
There
this.
still needs to be a president of the board, bro. I'm just a
Okay,
chief
okay,
executive officer now.
but I need to hear. Are you saying that you got a way of sweet talking and working these nurses in these psych
No,
wards.
but no,
I
no.
need
She
to.
wasn't a nurse. Okay, so just remember, yeah, she was a Right, you want to talk sweet working nurses? My second stay, yeah, in Heidelberg in Melbourne, one of the nurses got me night leave and took me to a concert with of Fred Smith, who was a diplomat that wrote the album Dust of Uruzgan and wrote a song called Sapper's Lullaby, which was about my mates Snowy and Smithy, and he was deployed with us. We worked with him in Afghanistan. She was mates with him through the folk scene here in Australia. And when she found out our connection, and he was playing his Bougainville concert in Melbourne, she got me night leave from the psych ward through my doctors and everything, and got to take me personally to his concert to meet him.
Good
So yeah,
shit.
I can sweet talk nurses to go out on dates. But this one, bro, I
Hold
won't
on.
give her name.
Let them
Like
know. Say it one more time. You are the CEO
the psych
of.
ward gang.
All right. All right. Repping from Australia. You just heard him though, man. He's got this thing. He can finesse his way while he's in the psych wards.
Well, mate, I
To
do because I know the system, brother. And like I said, I'm a very well. He's the best detective I know, but I'm a detective's son, and I'm a hustler, brother. I'm a fucking
Hey, I
hustler,
was
and guess
wondering.
what,
I was wondering when you were gonna admit that you're a motherfucking hustler. I was
mate?
wondering when you were
Mate,
gonna
I
break that
can't
part out.
wait. Like, mate, my inner gangster. All I wanted to be growing up as 15 years old was 50 fucking cent, man. That's all I wanted to be. All I wanted to be 50. If you're ever listening to this, brother, I am fucking following everything that you have done to a T, brother, just doing it with my style.
Hey, bet. Hey, 50. You got Australian Army, Afghanistan war veteran telling
You
you
want
he
gangster,
grew.
brother? I'll get you gangster down under, brother. And we're playing it with the real dogs now. None of this street shit play. None of this street shit. Um,
Bet.
yeah, nah,
Salute.
bro. We look. There is a method to me, man. And look, I knew I had this power earlier. It's interesting you touch on this, and we'll go into it actually. Um, I watched my father for years be able to just, like I said, we grew up because of his back surgeries and everything and his injuries through the military, mate. Like we grew up, like we didn't even have standard paracetamol. Like it was paracetamol and codeine was like basically where you started in our house because of all dad's thing. My dad was a prescription drug addict for well, he would tell you, no, what is he? He's not a drug addict. He's drug dependent because it all comes from a doctor. That's how he justifies it. Well, old fella, when you're listening to this, I'm going to educate you. You'll get it. You'll get it through your thick bloody head before you go. You're an addict, like the rest of us. Anyways, um, right, his was pain meds, obviously, because of his broken back. So we grew up with it, and there's a certain skill, mate. Like you ask any of my mates in the fucking army, they will tell you, they will not, none of them will, they'll tell you that I suck dick for a living. How I get away with what I got away with in the army was that I was
Hey,
under the
because I
desk
had.
fucking.
Hey, it's 2025. I had to make sure I heard you say what.
Yeah, bro, that's what the boys are like. They always call me the pole smoker. How can you do? You've got to be sucking the bosses off. You've got to be sucking the bosses off if you're getting away with what you're getting away with. Cunt. No, I'm a hustler. I know the system and I know how to use it.
Bet. Bet.
And my blessing about that, bro, the difference from my old man was when I was given that gold card when they told me I was totally and permanently incapacitated at 24 years old and I'd never work again. That gold card was more important to me that give me access to private health, and some of the best private health I could get in the country. That's worth more weight as any gold. Look, I wish I'd done the spiritual side of things earlier. I probably wouldn't have had to do so many trips to the psych ward, but I'm so grateful for that I did because what I have learned, the knowledge that I've acquired from every single one of these stays has lived with me. Look, I wish you were portable so I could go in and show you my files from all my psych ward stays, all my programs, all the work that I've done through it, mate. I've got it all documented now in one big space now for all of it to rely on as I'm starting to build my own programs. Um, but manipulate the system, man. It's not manipulate. I know how to use it. And that's why, as a hustler, doing it the right way and not the wrong way. I'm not
Whoa, whoa,
using it
whoa,
to
whoa.
benefit.
Hold on. Remember, as a hustler, right? The game is to be sold, not told. So if you want to stop at any given time,
No,
um,
brother. No, 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 no. And this is the openness of me, brother. This is the openness of me. I've got no secrets, no skeletons because I haven't done anything wrong. Right? All I've done is use that system to help myself get better. And if that's wrong, fucking try and take everything away from me. Good luck. Enjoy the media circus that you're going to follow.
nah,
I won't
nah. I
need your
just
support. I'll have Bitcoin fucking billionaires. I'll have entrepreneurs backing me from all over the stuff. I don't need the government's money. Like I said, I've gotten to that point now. And like I said, it's blood money. The money that I've received in through my pension compensation, I've earned every fucking cent of it. Not only for myself, for my family, and also for all the veterans that I've helped along the way. Um, I've given back with at every opportunity that I have, has also done exactly what they've asked me to do and heal myself. Use the support they're giving me to heal myself. And I've used their system, and as fucked up and as broken as it is, I believe with my assistance, we can change the narrative on that because if we can get guys to want to get the help, and that's the big thing, brother. Sending them in there because their families don't want to deal with them anymore or the public don't want to deal with them anymore is not a fucking solution. It's a band-aid, just like any other fucking medication. Yeah? This needs to be, people need to want to go to these places. They want to need to go, and people want, I think we said it at the start, bro, you and I, when we're having our own personal conversation. Us motherfuckers need to learn and ask for help. It's okay. If we're on the fucking battleground and we're out of fucking ammunition, are you asking your brother beside you to send you a magazine? Or are you going to sit there and go, oh, no, I don't want him to run out of fucking bullets? What are you going to do? Ask for help. It's there. So many people want to fucking help us. Use that support, but don't fucking abuse it or we're coming after you. Because if you abuse this system, I tell you now, it's been abused for too long. There is a silent movement happening. I know it. I can feel it. I can't explain who it is yet, but I know I'm fucking part of it. Uh, all you guys that have been using our stories to profit personally and not give back to the people that you say and you're supposed to be helping, we're coming for you. Your gravy train's over, baby. The money that all you motherfuckers raise and supposed to support us with will be going where it's supposed to be going now. It will be supporting us. And I don't give a fuck if it takes me 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. I don't care. I will fight this fight to the day that I die to ensure that every veteran coming home that has stood up for his country has the support that he needs when he gets back. It's as simple as that.
salute.
Sorry, I just went on a tangent there, brother. Yeah, it's we. I've written it down here, bro. I've written down here. It was something I was going to bring up at the start. The VSOs, the burnout, and the rebirth. What I'm finding at the moment is, through my experience, within the last, let's say, fucking 10 years, and I was out of the game, coming back into the game after 4 or 5 years out of it now. For instance, in Australia, there was 4,500 veteran services organisations. When I left the game, there's now over 7,000. That's 7,000 people, 7,000 organisations competing for all the same funds. Half of them all fucking doing the same things, just saying that they can do it better than other people. How about we start teaming up and doing it together? Yeah. Imagine if we were all us veterans were able to come together. Yeah. Put our shit aside like we do on the battlefield and work together for a greater good. And that's to heal one another and our families. And I need to be this is a big push. Stop fucking thinking about your fucking self for any veteran that is in victim mode. Remember, if you have a family, which you all do, whether it's your own kids or not, mothers, fathers, daughters, aunties, uncles, grandparents, fucking anything, you have family. Yeah, they're carrying this burden with you too. You have to do something about it for yourself for it to change for all of them. And we're here to fucking help. For those guys that do have no one, I apologize. You do now. Reach out. You have a family. We are it. This movement's only going to get bigger. It's only going to grow stronger. And we're going to combine our combat experiences and all of it. And we're going to turn our pain into purpose to destroy the corrupt fucking systems that our militaries have to operate under.
All right. All right. Now let's let's continue your transition now, all right? So
All
we
right.
got you you've done your tour in Afghanistan with the Australian Army
Yep.
as a combat engineer. You've come home, you've gone through dealing with PTSD and self-medication, all right? Now walk us through how you were able to eventually go from rock bottom to now the CEO of a construction company, an author, and make sure we talk about your book more and where we people can find that, as well as talk
Yeah, well,
about
we've
your.
got to get it finished. We've got to get it finished.
Oh, okay, okay. Well,
It's
even that's what
still
I'm
in the
talking
draft,
about,
still in
man.
the
Is
draft phase. Still in the draft phase. You guys have all
okay.
read. I spoke with Bo the other day. Actually, he's been so busy, but he's working on something in the background also. My mate Nicky, my business, the legacy of the Braveheart. He's another veteran we're going to have to get on, mate. He's a Navy veteran from the UK. He's written a book called Legacy of the Braveheart, which I'll send you some links to. I can send it out. I'm going to send you a link, bro. I want you to pick 250 people because I bought 250 of his ebooks. Um,
Really?
I'm going to send you the link, brother. And I want you to select 250 of your top supporters and give it to them for free. The link. We'll do that off air. Um, I want them to read it, bro. He's struggled with his PTSD after service, brother, and turning his pain into purpose through Muay Thai and living in Thailand. And a big part of why we're doing what we're doing in Thailand at the moment, bro. So yeah, those are our books, and those will come, bro. And we'll pump them, get the knowledge out there. But we want to get all our systems finalised and set up now, because we're working with the Fedi app, and we're seeing if we're going to be able to have our books set up in a marketplace through there. We want this stuff. We want this stuff coming through the Fedi app, and I want it all exchanging in Bitcoin. And that's because it's the quickest way for me to be able to send funds to anywhere that I need to be able to support people in crisis. We'll get all that stuff
Can
out
you
there. But
hold on? That's I know it's
yep,
Fedi, right? FEDI,
yep,
but what's the website? Fedi.com dot what?
Fedi.xyz. If you guys, for our followers that want to follow us, get on there. Um, Download the app on your phone. Get in touch with Sergeant WarDawg and myself. I'll send you guys a QR code so you can join our federation. Legacy of the Braveheart. And that's we've just launched with the Fedi guys recently. I want this to be I want this to go out to your first 250 supporters, mate, because we're growing with Fedi. I don't want to overload their system at the moment with too many users. But I definitely would like to start building our own little sovereign federation with you guys over in the US, and helping building up what we're planning on doing in Thailand with veterans and their families.
All right, all right. So
For all our
so everyone's
veterans out there,
becoming familiar.
yeah, for all our veterans out there that are listening, brother, get in there, get a look, guys. Do some research, yeah. Get in, do some YouTube watches, watch a few of their podcasts. Get to know Renata and Obi. Get to see what Fedi was created for, and what it's about. And then I'm sure any veteran will understand exactly why I'm very proud to be now saying that I'm in partnership with these guys.
All right. And can you let everyone know the CEO or the leader of Fetty?
Uh, I believe that I believe the big man is Obi. Stop there. Is the stop there? That the
Right.
bloke on the left there with the hat on. I believe that's Obi. We haven't spoken with Obi yet. You'll see a lot of Renata and her work that she's doing in South America. Um, she's an absolutely amazing woman. Um, yeah, mate. Just the connection we made through our first conversation was instant. She's got a heart bigger than mine, I believe, and that's hard to say because I believe I've got a pretty fucking big one. Um, what these guys are doing and how they're supporting community, rural, you know, low socio and economic communities. I believe that there is a pathway here for us veterans to find purpose again in a new mission, and that's supporting these guys and their mission.
All right.
Yeah, like I said,
All
do
right.
some
Now,
research, guys,
any
and stay away from your fucking standard X and fucking thing. Everyone will tell you it's a Nigerian scam and everything. Don't fucking listen to what the fucking media wants us to tell us today, guys. Do your research. I'm not saying you this is the be all end all or anything like that. Um, I'm 110% personally committed to their mission now. And I don't want anyone leading this. Don't go in there. Feel free to comment, give your feedbacks and everything like that, guys. But like I said, go open in with an open mind and think about the future. And when I say think about the future, I also say take in the current state of our world at the moment and where it's looking at going, um, and what we can then use uh, Fetty for to make sure that we're protected against whatever the fucking world's going into at the moment, I suppose.
and while we're on it, this is the CEO of Fetty here, right? This is Obi, so the world knows, right?
Yeah,
So
this is over.
veterans.
Yep.
All right. Hey, from what I
Yeah.
understand,
So
though,
yeah, they're
from what I
yep.
read, Obi has an amazing background, proven background already in the UK, and what he's run
Mate,
there
he's
for
got to,
years.
they are they we mate they are with us. They have I think they've found the platform to ready to go full launch, mate. They've been building this thing for the last 10 years in the background. The work Renata's done on the ground in these communities, setting this stuff up, mate. It's any veteran that is looking for purpose again. This is a mission worth checking out. That's all I can say, basically. Like I said, these guys are doing something revolutionary, I believe, and they are still building and growing. And yeah, we plan on sticking by their side and helping them grow this as much as we can.
All right. Any final words on Fetty, or is that good for now?
No, bro, that's I suppose it leads into to everything that we're sort of leaning towards with our missions in Thailand, bro. Thailand's obviously I mentioned it on the live pass, right, but just so everyone knows, I've recently been engaged with my Thai fiance. Um, uh, I'm actually flying over to pick her and her daughter up tomorrow after we go. She's taking me up to a temple. I'll keep you up, guys, updated on Facebook on my travels. But I was blessed by a monk up here on the Sunshine Coast last November, um, and I'm going up on a bit of a pilgrimage to see him up in his temple up in the hills on the border of Thailand and Laos. For 7 days, I'm going
Hey,
to go and
congratulations, bro.
cheers, brother. I'm going to strip myself of all my medications, all my vices, my cigarettes. It's 10
Detox.
out. 10 hours a day of meditation, man. So I'm going, whatever demons left, I've got ready to face. Um, uh, I'm going to do that for the first time, bro, silently, not by talking about it. My whole healing point has been up to this point being able to share, and everything I'm talking about and promoting is about going within. So this is the ultimate test. I've thrown myself right in the deep end. There's been no detoxing or anything like that, mate. I've still on my standard meds, taken me Vyvanse, got me medicinal cannabis every day. The only thing I've been doing to prep myself is some decent water, and one meal a day, which is basically the my diet anyway for the last thing's the same as Afghanistan anyway, brother. It's one meal a day, Red Bull, ciggies, and caffeine. Yeah, we've got that little pilgrim going up there. That takes off. I'll be up there from the 10th, mate. Apparently, it's a really special day. I should know more about it. They have my spiritual team have told me the importance of the 10th of July, and I believe that it's the start of something that those guys um, go in for 3 months. For the next 3 months, they're doing it, and I get to spend the first 7 days there. So I've learned as much as I can through with the language barrier me and my partner have shared, and then obviously doing a lot of it over in Thailand. This time, this monk speaks English, and he's going to start teaching me the practices, mate. Which will be perfect timing because look, I believe I'm honestly walking this path with Jesus in one hand and Buddha in the other. And Yeah, I honestly believe that this is I've been my whole spiritual journey has been leading me to this point. So I'm more than prepared, and I have the greatest support in my my beautiful wife to be Anna. Uh, and I think it's going to be transformative, mate. I'm going up there with the intentions to no longer need to rely on any medication or anything to get me through a day. I'm not saying I'm giving up my vices, mate. For fuck's sake, I'm a combat engineer. We work hard, we play hard. But I don't want to. No, I don't want to have to rely on having my Vyvanse for say. And I'm not saying I'm giving up my meds or anything like that either, guys. I just want to go up there and be able to prove to myself that when it's needed, that I don't need anything to be able to get through the day. That's where I'm at in my journey. I'm very well managed with my education, with my medication now, and it's all taken the right way for the first time ever. I'm no longer using the system to self-medicate the way I need to. I'm using it as prescribed. And now I'm ready to test myself if I've done the work to get me to where I need to be, so I don't no longer need to rely on it also. So that journey's heading, mate. And then after that, like I said, with everything that's going on, I'm going in for a stress and burnout stay at the Banyans, which is another facility that I hope to team up with, especially for my special forces crew. They need elite care for their elite jobs, and I believe this place has a model. Once I've seen it, that can that'll fall into my bigger healing project, which falls into Operation Phoenix, and that goes into Thailand, man. Once I've gone through this next 6 weeks, right? There's two. The rock bottom, I suppose you asked that before, mate. Was the rock bottom was my divorce. The next 10 months after that, with the doctor I met in the psych ward. And the amazing 10 months we spent traveling in luxury and hustling our way. Like, yeah, it was fucking unbelievable, bro. It was good. She let me explore myself on so many levels, and fully acceptance, man. And like I said, that stay reintroduced me to feeling like I belonged back in corporate, because like I said, I was in that psych ward that last time with doctors, uh, neuroscientists. Mate, I left that place. I didn't realize it. Like the chick I ended up dating, I left that psych ward with her and another woman, Kate, who's a real estate mogul's daughter. Like, I was looking at both of them as big sisters. Like, I was still convinced I could get my ex-wife back at this point. Um, uh, And yeah, it's within a week of being out, the real estate mogul woman had made me smoke. Well, not made me. I fucking did it myself. I smoked meth for the first time in 5 years, and had a one night bender with her, straight out of the psych ward, which I knew she was going to do anything. We were planning our own little blow up. But yeah, she was next level. Within 3 days, she was back fully alcoholic, ringing me dad. It was crazy, man. But me and this other one, yeah, we helped her. We helped each other, man. I believe helped her fucking get the confidence to sell her place, give up doctoring for a while. She's now traveling Europe, um, dog sitting and shit, man. Just living the best life. I think she's actually looking at buying a place over there now. And yeah, after that, bro, I went over to Thailand to get my tattoo, me Afghan tribute,
Nice.
um,
Nice.
to the boys. Um, fucking what?
You want to take the time to explain any of them?
Okay,
Explain to the
well,
world?
all right, well that one there, obviously the Apache and that's the Angels because they were our angels in Afghanistan. Um, this one
Mm-hmm.
here is actually one of my favorite photos of me. I am a fucking crazy bloke. Get tattooed on myself. But it symbolizes it's cruising in on a it's cruising in on Russian tank to symbol to sim you, to symbolize that how long Afghanistan had been at war for. Obviously, the red poppies is what we use in Australia for remembrance. How good's this one? Only the good die young. Yeah, I got that 2 weeks before I went to Afghanistan. It was supposed to say only the good die young. I'm here forever, but I didn't want to jinx myself. This one, man, is my tribute to me. This one was me 8 hour. He was an ex-bikie. It cost me fucking 2 bottles of Xanax, 8 hours during COVID. He had a Thai missus as well. Turned out he claimed that he was ex-special forces. He was an imposter. But anyways, it was a cheap tattoo, man. That would have been a couple of grand. This one, man, the biggest thing was the hills, man, and I'll get it filled. The most thing that always captures me the most about Afghanistan, man, the first memory that ever pops to mind was just the mountains, man. It was unbelievable. And that's obviously the stock of a rifle. But the Afghan soldier, the reason I chose a woman as the soldier up there bro, was the empowerment that we were trying to give the women there, and I believe that they were some of the biggest warriors in that country with the rights that they were fighting for. And I had much respect for them. And then when I seen the Afghani women soldiers before I left, man, I was like, I need that shit. I need that shit. So, anyways, I went to get that tattoo, bro. And to be honest with you, it was after my divorce. I just broke. Me and this doctor decided that she was doing her thing. I still had kids. We couldn't sustain what we were doing. We went our separate ways. So I was looking for a business partner in Thailand because I wanted to buy a bar. I got there, found out that Thailand had turned into not only it was still Thailand, but it was also Amsterdam as well. And my mood changed. I was like, damn, I want a fucking coffee shop and a farm now. Um, and but all the laws were being repealed, so I was like, oh damn. Anyways, I went to this bar that I went to when I first went over to Thailand. I flew my dad over when I was over there with the army at 19. And I was still mates to this day with the bar owner. She's not the bar owner anymore. Anyways, my missus at the time had just come down to work after her divorce. And we spent 6 days together after I met her. And I'd got my tattoo finished. She said she couldn't work in Phuket anymore. It wasn't for her. She wanted to be back with her daughter. And I said, well, do you mind if I come with you? Because I want to see the real Thailand. I didn't even cancel the flights. I just didn't show up to 3 more flights after that. We spent a month traveling with her through the temples and that, man. And uh, took her back to Bangkok, got her a passport and said that I wanted to bring her to Australia to thank her for everything she'd done for me, to show me around Thailand. I wanted to show her around Australia. And I'd fallen in love, like I do pretty easily. But this one, mate, I fell in love with the right woman again. Look, um, she's the next 12 months over there, man. We're in and out of temples, learning with someone that didn't speak English, learning how to communicate without words was absolutely amazing. I wasn't be able to overload her head with shit because she just can't understand me when I'm speaking. Um, and yeah, mate, it led up to
So you couldn't finesse her, huh? You couldn't
no,
sweet talk her.
no, bro, that was nothing. It was just pure. And look,
You
mate,
couldn't speak the language.
nah, bro, it's beautiful, man. And like I said, it helps a lot, man. Like my ex-wife asked me not long ago when we're doing something with the kids. She's like, "What's the thing?" I was like, "Man," she goes, "My ex-wife, how does she deal with you, especially when you're like this with everything that you've got going on?" And I was like, she doesn't understand a word I fucking say. I speak too quick, so she can't be overloaded like you can, Jessica. Uh, like she's she's like, oh damn. She's like, I suppose that's very powerful for you, isn't it? I was like, yeah, she can't attach herself with all the emotions and shit because she doesn't understand the words. She's just feeling my energy and knowing it's pure. She doesn't see all the manicness. She just feels it. I got a mental health nurse that used to see all that, and she's got her own trauma, her own history of stuff of her own family too. My ex, um, that was carried on. So yeah, man, we've learned, and her English has gotten Anna's English. I'm not going to say her real name now because I get in trouble because I don't even pronounce it properly because I've got too much of an Australian accent. I can't do the tones in Thai accent. Um, you, sweetheart, if you listen to that, I hope I got it right. Sorry. Um, yeah, no, and mate, we've just grown. And look, to be honest, with the bars and stuff out of there, with the mates that we went, man, like, I've always had this thing, man, where, like I hate it, man. I always get nearly getting fights over there all the time, and you get all these old white guys coming in and treating these women like shit. So it started off with like, how could I help these girls? How could I help these guys get out of this situation? One thing led to another with my Thai teacher and everything like that, with her vision on how she wants to help save Thai culture, and my vision on helping veterans and their families heal in Thailand, the way that I have with the team I've got around me and the experiences we've all had. Um, let's run with this, mate. So within a couple of weeks of this coming together, I put a $50,000 plan together, a trip together, flew 17 people around Thailand, and we've found some land and everything that we want to start off with. Done some exploration, made some great connections with some great human beings that are sharing our vision. And now I'm over there now. We're in the process with the lawyers and everything, having the business and everything set up with me and my missus. I'm going over there to purchase our first block of land. We're going to build our first home where we're going to have our wedding at. And as I build a construction company to help complete all the construction here in Queensland with veterans leading as project managers, helping transition guys out of defence in from construction roles into construction roles, and the guys that don't want to into IT roles and stuff, and especially in the defence industry. I want to plug that transition gap with guys getting out of the military and falling into a hole. And then for the biggest thing with Operation Phoenix and the legacy of the Braveheart, as long as the Holistic Wellness Warriors program, what we're combining in Thailand, brother, is a program for veterans to come to after they've come out of psych wards, rehabs, and prisons with their families, and they'll come integrate into what I would like the lived experience side of the healing journey that you go through the systems that we have in place. And then we give you the lived experience with the alternative methods of healing as well as the spiritual side. And the best thing about Thailand, it doesn't matter what religion you come from, I can find somewhere in that country that will support you. Um, if you don't have one, that's even better. Just come in there with faith. That's all it needs to be. Just faith in, and that faith can come from just like we had in one another on the battlefield, brother. Whether you liked him or not, you knew that the bloke beside you, left or right, had your back, and that's faith. Um, Over there, I believe we
Right.
have a model where we can reintegrate families into this healing process. So no longer, so the veteran gets his healing and understanding of what he needs to do for himself personally. And then in Thailand, integrated with the family, we can educate the family on how to assist them and understand the processes that they will be going through as they go through this journey to help fast track it all and give everyone on the same page so we can go back to the ancient way that warriors used to heal when they came home from battle, and that was with their tribe. Now, linking that in with
Nice.
Thailand to purpose and then with Fedi, brother, is where we then go, how do we use this healing purpose and this pain and turn it into a purpose immediately? How do we do that? We start giving back to the Thai disadvantaged youth communities, because I started out wanting to help bar girls, yeah, and I've broken it down to the root cause. If I want to help anyone, we've got children, bro, the next generation, like I've been trying to do with these 13, 14 trips in psychiatric wards for my children. We need to fix ourselves so we can make sure the next generation can thrive. And I don't want to do this in a bunch of rich kid things. I want to do this in third world countries, empowering them with the technology that's now available for them to be able to create their own sovereignty, maintaining their own heritage and cultures, man, because I've traveled too much of the world and I've seen how we have destroyed it with our capitalism and how we use and abuse the third world countries to make a profit.
Damn.
So yeah,
Damn.
man,
That's deep.
I'm on a fucking mission and a half, brother. And I want every veteran that's listening to fucking get behind us. Because this is a mission worth fighting for. And for the first time, I think I shared this with you, brother. From 7 years old, this is how ingrained military is into me. And I don't know if you Yankee guys have watched the movie Gallipoli with Mel Gibson in it, an old warrior of Australia, the Anzacs. But watch that movie, the closing scene. Mel Gibson's, they were runners between the trenches, passing messages, and the opening scene when the fuckhead UK officers were sending the Australians to their deaths, running into Turkish machine gun fire. The closing scene is Mel Gibson not making it back to his mate that he joined with to stop him running over the trenches. And the closing scene is him falling, getting nailed by those by the I'm getting goosebumps. Nailed by the Turkish machine guns. And if you can you get to that last closing scene, that's how I expected. Like honestly, believe that's how I wanted to go. And I've worked out through all my trauma work and everything. That was what I from 7 years old. I had dreams of dying on the battlefield. As I wanted my name remembered as a soldier who died for his country. What I've realized now is there's a reason why I didn't die, and I should have died over there fucking way too many times. Is because I was here for something bigger and better, and that was to help veterans and their families. Um, and that's the legacy I'm going to leave now, and that's what I hope that our generation that fought in the Middle East can now do with our experiences and our wisdom that we've learned through life after service, is give back to communities the warrior spirit that the world and our politics is fucking robbing from us, mate. Because I don't know about you, but I'm sure as no, not sure as hell not happy living in the country I went to fight and was willing to die for, brother. It makes me fucking sick that the country that I went and defended are run by these fuckwits.
All right. All right. Um, do you want to say anything about TAE Construction Industries?
TA constructions industry. So, mate, at the moment, look, once again, hustler, baby, hustler. This has grown dramatically, mate. We're in the process. We should have our builder's licenses in the next 10 to 12 weeks, hopefully. I've gone from wanting to continue working on the tools and getting my trade qualification to straight up running a construction company and building it with a team of veterans. It's me and my best mate Eric at the moment, in line with Evo Landscapes. We've been working with the three of us, mate, all Psych Ward gang members. Uh, our stories, mate. 5 years ago, and I'm not going to expose too much now. I'll wait for Paulie and when he's ready to expose his side of the stories. But 5 years ago, you would not believe where the five of us were sitting. Now we're in doing high-end residential landscaping, and we're just about to launch huge property maintenance stuff to get guys, veterans, my generation of veterans into some easy works as I start to build a transition program to get engineers coming out of the military straight in to be my, well, we'll call them section commanders of my teams of tradesmen. And I'm also looking at in the next couple of years introducing a system where I can also, instead of bringing ties over as cheap labour, bring it over and educate them with English and trade skills that they can go back and help with our developments in Thailand and all our projects in Thailand in these communities that we're trying to assist in, mate. So mate, what do we do? We're fucking engineers. We do everything. You tell us what you want done, and we'll find a way to do it. If we can't do it ourselves, I've got someone that can and someone that can guide us. Mate, we, yeah, easiest way to say it. Follow the fucking sapper, brother. Get done. Call the engineers. And mate, what I'm finding at the moment, reconnecting with all my boys now at the moment, mate, is basically building us our own little special operations engineer regiment, private force, whatever you want to call it. Basically, building a workforce capable from site prep to completion, mate. I want to be a full builder developer package, and I want to work. Not only on the housing crisis here in Queensland, I want to help assist construct with the games in Australia, and I also want to build a Indigenous workforce alongside my veteran workforce to empower our rural Indigenous communities of Australia also, brother.
Nice, nice.
So yes, guys, I'm the dreamer. I'm the guy with the big visions. What's in place at the moment? Well, just watch this space. Just know that I am the CEO of the Cycleboard Gang for a reason, because I am proper fucking crazy. But after 15 years of learning how to use that shit, my craziness is now my superpower. And I have an amazing team of mentors high up in business circles, in defense circles, in my fire team mentorship. Yeah, my mentorship fire team in headquarters, and my troop of soldiers around me at the moment, bro, is just growing stronger and stronger.
Right on, right on. Are there any do you have any any additional or final things you want to say about uh CAE?
TAE?
Excuse
Bro,
me, excuse
no,
me,
this
about
is
TAE.
look, TAE is going to eventually be a it's grown into something it's going to be an international brand. Where we will be set up in Thailand as the TAE group, Thailand, which is the Thailand and an Australian empowerment group. And we're looking at also making sure that we're set up with foundations and everything with each of these. We're doing everything by the book, mate. I've been a hustler for way too long. I know the system now. I know how to use it to my advantage. I've got to make sure I've got teams of accountants, lawyers, and everything behind me down, making sure everything is legitimate. Um, and like I said, 50 Cent, I'm coming for you, brother, because I know the game you're playing now, and I've got a seat. I just need the next couple of years navigating these circles, brother. Um, it's making my vision a reality by putting the people in the places that I need them. Like I said, you and I will discuss off air how we're going to build that. Maybe we need a social media team, and I'm building one of them now. Yeah, still blowing me away that this is my first live one-on-one podcast. So I can't wait till you and I are sitting back smoking cigars with some fine cognac in 10 years' time, brother. Remember watching this podcast where it all started.
Hey,
Obviously, I'm not going to have to sit here and ask you about your story, brother. Your followers know that. And I look forward to them watching how our stories combine.
all right, all right. That's what.
Power of the
That's
people,
what's up.
brother. Power of the people.
Can you
And let
let
it be
everyone know?
veteran led.
Let them know your company website.
TAE, constructionindustries.com. Nice and simple, guys. It's not nice and simple. I'm a fuckhead from putting it that so long. Once I have got all the foundations set up and a full tech team behind me, we'll shorten that shit so you don't have to fucking type as much. Because I know for most of you veterans with PTSD, typing it in TAE construction industry, you'll get halfway through it and go, fuck you. That shit's too long. So hopefully we can put the links up everywhere we possibly can so you can just click.
All right. Sounds like a plan, man. Sounds like a plan. All right. Ladies and gentlemen,
Brother, it's late.
this has been,
It's late your time. What is
huh?
it, John? What is it? What time is it your time?
Like
Sorry, brother. I'm just getting the time.
23:10.
Oh, you legend. Sorry for keeping you up late, brother.
You fucking kidding me? The chance to hear your story straight from Australia right now, live, and you're 14 hours ahead of me. So that what
Yeah,
time
bro.
is there
We're looking
Saturday?
on at 10. Yeah, 12:10. Yeah, so
All right.
Saturday, brother. I've got by this time tomorrow, I'll be sitting in the Qantas lounge, enjoying a free feed, prepping myself for my flight to Thailand and my little pilgrimage. Last few whiskeys and bourbons. I think I don't drink often, but whenever I travel, on a plane, I have to drink for some reason. So I'll be making sure that I enjoy the places I've reached in life now, and ready to crack on with this pilgrimage, brother. And then as soon as we're back, you and I are hitting the ground running. You'll be over here in Oz, and our next one, I hope, is you and I sitting in our podcast studio in Brisbane.
All right, bro. Sounds like a plan. I want to thank you for coming on to the show.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, definitely, man, definitely.
And obviously, get used to seeing
Also,
my face, all your followers.
all right, that'll pretty much do it. I want to again. Shit. I want to again. Excuse me. I want to again thank you for coming on to the show, Tommo. All right. Again, this is Mr. Tommo Williams, Australian, Afghan war veteran, CEO of the Psych Ward Gang in Australia. All right. And hey, the Psych Ward Gang around the world. This is your CEO as a war veteran from Australia, um, who's picked himself up, obviously, after everything he's endured during the war as well as afterwards. All right. So we do nothing but praise him, salute him, congratulate him that he picked himself up and he's continuing to not only help himself and his company, but now he's going to help veterans in the same way that I'm trying to help with Camp Doghouse to have places to house homeless veterans and look out for our brothers and sisters, just as we did during during the war and during our service. Hey, you're wearing the shirt now. Before I end, you got to tell them about the shirt 214, and you also need to tell them
Okay,
about the 42.
42. Okay, right. Well, this one, guys. Uh, basically, an officer from our rotation, Mick Lorigan, created a coffee brand called 214. He went in, my financial advisor, Veteran Wealth, Corey Stamp, one of our engineer section commanders on my tour. Um, they got this Cafe 214 brand going. 214 is the second 14 Light Horse Regiment here in Brisbane. They were the ones that deployed attached with us with to 6 area on MTF1. These mix gone into disaster relief. I found out the other day, I believe. Corey's got into business with the guys called, I forgot his name. Apologies, brother. I will remember it shortly. They've just done up the best coffee shop ever with this Pineapple Express brand. I don't have anything else yet to show you, but jump on, guys. Check out Cafe 214. Um, uh, and then follow, uh, get on there, and then look for Pineapple Express and their coffee shops. Their coffee shops in Virginia, Queensland, Australia. If you search for Veteran Wealth on Google Maps, you'll see Veteran Wealth and Cafe 214 coffee shop there. I'll upload some photos and that when I'm in there next. That's where our podcast studio and everything's going to be based out down there. Not only do they have the coffee shop there, I think the boys have created the own little our own little boozer there too. They put a couple of kegs on for Friday afternoon for a couple of quiet beers with the boys, staying away from all the big fucking joints promoting too much drinking. Um, and that's where I also believe the podcast studio is going to be also. So, plenty to come, mate. Like I said, once I've got back from this little 6 weeks of mine of reboot, refresh, things will be coming together. But if you just jump on, guys, I on my own personal socials or anything like that, you'll find these guys. The 42 for 42 is probably, I really, really definitely want to mention that now, mate. We spoke about it on the podcast. That when I got myself into trouble and got myself charged with the police for a home invasion on a drug dealer, me and the president of the 42 for 42 that I co-founded that with, we had a big falling out, and we haven't spoken. We hadn't spoken shit since 2019. Yesterday, a couple of days ago, brother, I was never there. I never got to see the completion of the memorial. I got to get to the phase. I got right up to the phase of where we secured everything, had all the designs and everything, but I never got to break ground there. I got to catch up with Mully yesterday, mate. This is building bridges, you know. No matter what happens in the past, man, the past is the past. We learn from it. We look back, reflect, and we grow and put the shit aside. We both led with our hearts, and we're trying to do the right things. Being a hustler and playing on the other side of the fence, I got dealt with the fucking consequences that I got dealt with. But reconnecting with him in the 42, so it's 42 as in the number 42, 442. Again, number 42. Google us, guys. It was the start of all my real volunteer work. It was the Afghanistan War Memorial we built in Brisbane. It's absolutely amazing to share with Sean personally yesterday. It's making me a bit emotional because it's the first time we've been in there together since it was completed. And him walking me through it, everything he's built now, the schools and everything. Yeah, I couldn't be prouder of the bloke, and I'm so glad that me and him are back talking again. And I can't wait till our families are doing the same thing because our sons, his youngest, my eldest, were born the same day. I was sitting there after a long labour with 8 minutes to go before midnight, screaming at my wife, "Hurry up! I want a board on the same day." So yeah, bro. Check out the 42 for 42 Memorial, guys. It's a different the biggest difference about us is we didn't want it just to be a place of a plaque and a number. Every single one of us has a story, and we were human beings before we joined the service. And with technology today, we're able to implement not only a QR code for each of their plaques. We're also able to give a space for the families to add the stories of who they were before they joined the military and their personal stories, and giving them the option to be able to do that. So if you were to go through there, some of the family members that that are able to still participate and want to continue in these things and aren't too broken by it, have committed it, have put stuff in, and those guys that aren't ready yet or aren't willing to, it's completely up to them. That'll grow with it. But it's humanizing not just the soldiers, but we're also humans too. And we've also we get to show the timeline, I think, which is Sean's in the process of getting it all updated and everything at the moment. But as you're well aware, jumping into these spaces, bro, you're not going to please everybody. Because our 41 soldiers, Australia lost 41 soldiers in Afghanistan. The 42nd soldier is supposed to represent every other soldier that lost, is fighting the battle or has lost the battle after the war from the Middle East. And yeah, I'm not going to go into the details of what goes on in those circles, because it's the same as everywhere else in society. Tall poppy syndrome, mate. Yeah, the 42nd soldier represents every single soldier that's for me now personally, that has signed the dotted line and willing to sacrifice for their service. And if they've suffered mentally due to their service, then this is for them also.
All right, and lastly, remind everyone about the QR code that you have up.
QR code up the top there is to my link tree. One of these fucking links all your social shit together. Basically, guys, from what I understand, because I'm technologically retarded, slowly learning, you click on that, that'll have all my Facebook, LinkedIn, all my social media, website. I think all the links to everything that I've got so far is on that QR code. I'll get more tech savvy as we go, brother.
All right. Hey, as I said before, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the WarDawg Trail podcast, episode 125, with Australian Afghan war veteran Tommo Williams, with excuse me, who is also the CEO of TAE Construction Industries. All right, you can find him right now in Australia, and he will soon also have operations going on in Thailand. Right? Hey, and for those of you fans of Fetty, hey, this is the guy to look to. The
Reach out,
currency,
guys. Reach out. Like I
Bitcoin.
said, I've got to be conscious of how much growth I pump into this as we're building with this app. So it won't be just every man and his dog to begin with. We've got to learn this system, and so it's all still new to us. And we're working with Fetty to get educated on how it all works and everything like that. So if I don't get back to you straight away, just let it know. But like I spoke with you, brother, I'll be introducing you to this ourselves, and we'll look at ways of being able to implement this stuff through our communities together in all of the projects we're doing. It's a fantastic way for us to be able to control the funds to going to where they need to be, mate. This is a profit for purpose, no longer this not for profit shit, because it all becomes a fucking hustle and a rort. Why? Do I know that? Because I'm fucking good at it, and if I wanted to, I could manipulate that system, and I don't, because I'm leading with a heart. Now it's profit for purpose. I'm getting paid for what I do, because I deserve it. And the shit that I've been through, and the people that supporting me get fucking paid for the work that they've put in, and then we get to decide how we help people instead of someone dictating what we do the money with and how we use it.
All right. All right. Okay, Mr. Tommo Williams, thank you for all of your time. Thanks for coming on the show, spreading your word, spreading your message. And as always, thank you for your service in Afghanistan with and for the Australian Army. Um, can't put words to that. Your struggles with PTSD and picking yourself up after double digit trips to mental health facilities and psych wards. All right. And before you go, remind everyone just one last time this is the, C- the CEO of the Psych Ward
On the
Gang.
motherfucking Psych Ward Gang, baby. Crazy as hell.
All right, bro. Thanks for coming on. Salute.
Love you, brother. We'll speak soon. Speak soon, brother.
All right, bro. All right, ladies and gentlemen. As I said, this has been episode 125 of the WarDawg Trail. All right. You can remember you can find me live on Saturday nights with DV Radio Crew. All right. Remember every Saturday night at 2000, that is 8 p.m. Eastern time. I am live with DV Radio. That's Dysfunctional Veterans Radio. That can be found at dvradio.net. All right. Yeah. Come check us out on Saturday nights, man. We have veterans from each branch, and we all, we just talk like you would in the barracks. The name of the podcast is Barracks Talk. The name of the organization is Dysfunctional Veterans. You can find them at dysfunctionalveterans.com. And like I said, the radio station has a live show every Saturday night on dvradio.net, which will allow you to, stream into or check into your other streaming platforms and catch it there. All right. This has been Sergeant WarDawg, your host, your friend, your homie. Yeah, and all of the above, right? All of the above. All right, guys. Have a great show or have a great night. And salute.